You can have the best circumstances on planet Earth. You can born within the best circumstances. You can have all the IQ. You can have every single thing, the best body, the strongest muscles, and so on and so forth. But without your mind being right, you will not be able to get to anywhere, brother. And this is something that I needed to realize on my journey. I just wanted to get to this place, by just going out there and pushing every single day, because I thought that, hey man, the more calls I'm making, the more successful I become. The more books I'm reading, the more successful I become. The more things I'm doing, the more successful I will become. And so what I've got to realize is that that's fucking not true. That's obviously part of the whole equation, but it's just only a subset of the whole equation. And so what I've got to realize is that our minds we need basically three types of challenges, or three types of efforts, or three types of effects that just simply need to hit our brain, our minds every single day in order for us to be the sharpest. And when I'm doing all three of these things, I'm just realizing that I'm at a freaking way much better place. I'm just like, my mind is fucking fast. At the same time, I'm considered rational, calm, and so on and so forth. And so these three factors are the following. The very first one, observation, reflection. So how we can do those things? The very first one is meditation, which is perhaps one of the best. Meditation is perhaps one of the best. It's maybe one of the best things. Another thing that also works here is yoga and exercising when you are doing something. And I'm not talking about the gym environment, but when you're doing something repetitive for a while, that will also have the same effect. So reflection, we can just simply allow our minds to process the information. We are allowing our minds free time and free space, not to think, not to put in, but it to just simply manifest itself, to just simply reflect upon the thoughts, upon the activities, and so on and so forth. So this is pillar number one. And so now that we've got a clear head, we can just simply go ahead and give challenge to it. And the challenge needed to be twofold. And the very first one will be information that just simply needed to be processed. And this is perhaps the most important part over here. The information that we are taking in needed to be processed. It's not just like, hey man, I've read 20 pages from this book today. Congratulations, brother. What did you learn and how can you apply those things? So let me bring up here two of my reading habits. So me reading 3-4 years ago versus me reading now. Me reading 3 years ago, I went for the pages, I went for the page amount, and I got a general understanding of what is going on. And hey man, like I've got the big concepts, but I would say that I didn't get the concepts precisely as they are written down. It's like not precise and exactly what is written down, and I didn't really extend upon those. And so versus me now, I can spend, whether you believe it or not, 1.5 or even 2 hours reading 4, 5, max 10 pages. And so I had very, very, very many days when I was reading Poor Charlie's Almanac. If you do not know that, then fucking hurry up and pick up that book, brother, because that's a must. And so when I was reading that book, I just realized, man, like so fucking much information that I can, read it and get the concepts, like most of them. But I'm not on this fucking level to, be able to process this information. And so the main point over here is that I've been just simply, rereading all of the, maybe sentence by sentence, because I didn't really understand the words either. And so this is how you can learn, by getting the information in and processing that actively. And so perhaps the greatest tool that we can use here will be writing and journaling. And so I'm using two types of journaling. The very first one is writing, that is more like artistic. But again, like with writing too, I'm also using it as a kind of an art form, because there, again, I had phrases like I've been writing 10 sentences for 1.5 hours, and not because I cannot write, but because I really wanted to make them so fucking precise that they are like so cutting edge that I cannot make it more cutting edge. So it was like, it's an art form for me. And so by getting into that place of realizing that and actually grabbing that information and putting that right inside of your head, because this is what writing will do. You're reading that thing and start writing about that. And when you start writing about that, then you will eventually have all these thoughts. And when you have all these thoughts that will be connecting that, then it will be inside of your brain. Because otherwise it just will be some information randomly, and that information will just randomly lie over there in your subconscious unprocessed. And so this is what I'm trying towards, to process the information that I'm receiving throughout my days as much as I can. So this is what monk mode is all about. This is what the first pillar is all about. It's like, limit the information, allow you, clean up the space all around you. It's like meditation, like clean up the fucking space. And obviously the second one is to actively process this information, so that for you will grow this ability inside of yourself that you will be able to really and honestly filter the information. Okay, bro, like what is important, what is not important, and what does that mean? What does that mean to me, and how can I use that? So these are the two fundamental pillars. And there's also the third one, which is, you might be thinking, has very, very, very little to actually do with our minds physically, but it's more like our bodies. And we have to take care of our bodies. And so what do I mean by that is, yes, obviously you have to eat good and you will have to do all the good shit, but the most fucking important thing, brother, we will have to exercise. We will have to push ourselves into a place when we are physically challenging our bodies. When we are physically challenging our bodies, and we are fucking sweating. That's the place. And I swear to you that the cleanest moments of my lives, the greatest decisions that I've made, perhaps the highest, the biggest, the greatest highs that I've been blessed to achieve in this life, after the orgasms, sorry for this, is, man, after working out, you know, like in the working out, like those ideas, you're just like pushing the shit out of yourself, and you're young, your muscles are working. It's like, that's the oxygen is all around flowing inside of your fucking system. It's like, that's the place, brother. That's the place, because you can meditate and read all day fucking long, but after a while you will get so freaking much inside of your head that you will get lost. You get lost. You just like, you get so freaking much like pointed into one direction that you will get lost in order. And so that's a place when we will need chaos, and we just simply have to shake up our bodies. And so whether you believe it or not, brothers, these three things, these three essential elementary things are the ones that have been transforming me from a guy who's always fucking anxious, who's fucking broke, always fucking anxious, has social anxiety and all that shit, to someone who has none of those fucking issues. And I am fucking confident to even talk about these things, you know, that because I'm confident in the ways of how these things work. And so this is what we'll have to realize, brothers, that doing all this exercise, we do not have to do more. We just simply have to pick those things, and we'll have to do them day after day after day after day after day. And not doing them because, hey man, I have to do them, but just simply embed them so much inside of your life that will be your lifestyle. It's like, it's not like even a no-brainer, but it's like waking up, you know. It's like going to you know, going to the toilet. For me, daily running is like going to the toilet. I wake up and I'm not starting straight with the running now, but I'm starting with push-ups to warm up. But for me, running every single day, it's like going to poop. It's like I'm just simply feeling the need for that, for the physical high, and also the mental clarity that is coming after that. And so many days, whether you believe it or not, I'm feeling blue as shit. And after a great running session, I'm just back. And after a great workout session, I'm just back. And so we have to keep this place, brother. Cut out all the distractions. Cut out all the BS, whether you believe it or not. And I also got to realize this with me getting more and more. So whether you believe it or not, I had days, I had weeks when I didn't have any fucking impacting on my, I was like completely so fucking much monk mode. I wasn't reading, no social media, no YouTube. Basically, I was using my phone, and I was using a fucking Google sheet and basically Excel sheet, and I was basically building the background infrastructure for my company. I mean, it sounds fucking funny because there are many other, you know, tools out there, but this is what I felt to do, and this is how I've been blessed, you know, like grab all of the concepts, whether you believe it or not. I had days when I had all of my thoughts, you know, like clearly, precisely figured out, and everything, you know, is like perfect fucking order. And during those days, I got to realize that every single thing is just simply getting into us, whether you believe it or not. And so, for example, you're seeing a Facebook post. It will just simply get into your subconscious, whether you believe it or not. Do you want it or not? And so we cannot force our minds to function a certain way. What we can do is to lead ourselves and only allow input inside our mind that will be leading us towards to become the person that we want to become. That is aligned with the person that we want to become. And again, this another super important one. I'm just checking the time because I'm talking a fucking lot today, brother. Yes, I'm inspired. Is reading, man. I've been cutting reading throughout the last year a lot. Before that, I was reading a lot, like, I mean, almost one book a week, and my ideas were like flowing. I was like a machine all fucking day. Like I couldn't be shut down, Brandon. Like I was like idea. I was starting fucking 2 businesses a day. It's like ADHD steroids, you know. That's that kind of a state. And so I decided to cut back a bit, but I've also got to realize is that with reading, if you're combinating these 3 things, you're moving your body, you're reading, and you're also meditating, then something magical fucking happens inside of your brain, bro. I'm telling you this because what is happening is that you just simply get into this clarity when your mind is just like cutting fucking clear, and you can just think with such a speed, and you have this clarity of mind. It's like unbelievable. You're just getting fucking smarter. You're just getting smarter, period. Like this is it. And yes, man, I needed to share this with you because simple little habits can make or break us, bro. Meditate, read, and exercise. Love.